People have said every opponent I've talked to this season with you, he's a different quarterback. Do you feel that?
I think I can do things that the prototypical quarterback can't, but at the same time, I still have to do the things that makes any successful quarterback successful. Dropping back in the pocket, making all the throws and all the reads, being able to understand defenses and what they're trying to do and what they are doing. But at the end of the day, I still feel I have some characteristics that are somewhat rare in this league. When I look around, you see the Michael Vick, you see the RG3, the Russell Wilson, you see Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers, guys that are mobile, light on their feet, and able to make plays outside the pocket.
What can you do that they can't?
I'm pretty sure I can do a couple things that they can't, but it's also some things that I look at those guys, I'm like, wow. I wish I could do those things, and I try to apply it to my everyday game.
It's funny because the difference of sitting here talking to you, winning, and being so successful versus last year talking to you and you talking about how much that was, their success was fueling.
Right.
Because it was all of a sudden you were sort of the forgotten
It still
guy.
is. It still is. I mean, let's not get jaded by, us. And I just want to throw this out there. It's just 7 games in. I've said it numerous times, people acting like, we need to have a celebration, shut down North Tryon and just have a parade. Are we excited about where we're at right now? Absolutely. But that's still pushing us to higher heights. It's like, we're at where we're capable of being. But in order for us to be where we want to, where we have our goals set, we got to continuously to keep moving forward and keep doing the little things right.
So that's people saying, to them, you look like a different quarterback. Are you a different person sitting here today, do you think?
I am. And for me to just say it, it's one thing, but I feel it. It's a lot of things that I didn't think was important, and people may not feel that it's important, but it's important to me now. Making eye contact with people, talking to people, just being approachable. It's a lot of things, man, and I could sit up here and list a scroll of things that I try to do on a day-to-day basis. Do I have setbacks where I need to detox and say, but I still am able to catch myself like, man, let me get out this funk, man. Let me go talk to people. Let me go tell people how I'm really feeling, rather than them playing a guessing game saying, oh, can I talk to Cam today? Can I not? Can I do this? And it's been helpful. And I've been seeing a difference, not only in myself, but with teammates as well.
What changed? What got you to this point?
Family members, in particular my father, my brother, oldest brother. I think I call those guys my deflator. Those guys are the people when you feel as if you have arrived and your head started intaking this helium and this, massive things that come in with that pen and just bring you back down to earth. And I think this off season was very therapeutic and along those lines. Why? Because they set me down constantly. Not only just pointing out things that I feel like I could get better, but just challenging me. I go through rigorous workouts each and every day or during the off season, and in the weight room, on the field, as well as off the field. Just to take my mind to different challenges. Basically saying if I could accomplish this now, in the late games or fourth quarter, I can do great things as well. So when I'm talking to those guys, they look at what Russell Wilson is doing. Look what come on now. That guy's unbelievable. Look at the plays that he's making. We watched that, man. We watched Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. These guys that are labeled the league's best, Drew Brees. And I learn from those guys. And like I say, I try to apply it to myself.
It's not just looking at other quarterbacks. I know the most important thing you told me that your dad and your brother did was made you look at yourself.
Right.
What happened that day?
It was very disgusting, and that's as blunt as I could be, but I could, say other words as well. Me going back, because, when you do an interview, like when I do this interview right now, 9 times out of 10, I probably won't see it. I'll hear about it, but realistically, you really won't go back in YouTube and say, boom, interview. But for me, those guys set me down And, you know, went back on YouTube and looked at Cam Newton's post-game interviews. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God. And I couldn't do nothing but just, because I see what people see. You know, I look at how people are viewing me. So when they see this selfish player, when they see this little childish, you know, temper tantrum that I was throwing, and maybe I may be going overboard a little bit, and, you know, I'm just going by how I view myself. And I'm like, that's why people look at me like that. Never mind, I'm a joyous person inside, that I really love playing this game of football, and I love everything about it. They were just seeing that, bruh, you're not counting your blessings. You know, you're harping on the negatives rather than, you know, trying to create, you know, steps for you to get better. And you know, when I realized that, I think everything began to get better for me in many different ways.
What was the hardest thing to take when you say that all of a sudden you saw what people saw in you? What was it that all of a sudden you saw?
I would say my intentions were good. You know, I never once wanted to portray a guy that was just nonchalant about, you know, anything else but winning, which I am. But the way I could come off was just too aggressive. And it's like, okay, Cam, we know that you like to win. You know, you don't have to keep hammering the nail in there and just saying or how you feel, your actions. You know, and more or less, it was that one thing. Let my actions speak louder than, you know, what I may say. And I would say it often in the media, but I wouldn't carry it off in myself. You know, and I'm just nitpicking every single thing, turning over each and every stone and saying, I could have been better. You know, I could have, like I said, had more communication with my coaches, players, and just been a better teammate. And you know, it would have. I'm not saying that it would have got us more wins, but I think it would have helped.
One of the examples I know they showed you was the towel over the head. When you're looking, could you see what people thought and what should they have seen?
Now, I think I get a lot of scrutiny for the towel because no one has ever really had a towel over their head, and I feel like in some reasons I'm a trailblazer. I want to be a trailblazer. I don't want to be a guy that, oh, you know, he's doing this because somebody else did it. In most cases, everyone is always inspired by a lot of things. And I'm inspired by so many people that have came before me and, you know, set the path or made it even possible for me to even play this game. So when I play this game, I don't just, you know, go about it to say, I'm going to do this just like that. Yeah, I look at other quarterbacks, but I try to apply it to my own self, my own swagger. Let me throw my own pizzazz in it. I've always, since high school, had the towel over my head. Why? Is because I was inspired by Michael Jordan. One of the first times when I seen or really got to appreciate who Michael Jordan really was, he would come to the sideline, put a towel over his head, and put a towel, you know, over his lap. And I was like, why does he do that? You know, I'm trying to be like Mike. Everyone wanted to be like Mike. So I didn't play basketball. I wasn't good enough, you know, to excel in basketball. So when I played football, I put the towel over my head, you know, along those lines. And over the years, you know, people would just always see it. And when I got to the NFL, it was like, what is a towel? You know, we've never seen this happen. So, you know, he's complaining, he's with all this bickering and this and that. And I'm like, well, that's me. You know, if you don't like it, you can have your own opinion, but I'm not going to let that stop me from who I am.
It's funny because if we were talking about growth as a quarterback, we can look at stats, and Lord knows with you, we can look at stats and get the proof. All the things you want to work on as your growth as a man, how do you evaluate that?
One is not worrying about stats, I can tell you that. I just, the main focus is winning, it is. But it's ingredients that goes into trying to win. You know, go down the store and you try to make a banana pudding. You know, you look at it on the box, it's like, man, that's some good banana pudding. You just don't throw it out there and say, boom, banana pudding, ding. It's some proper steps that you have to go through to, make great looking banana pudding for it to taste good as well. So to transfer that or to refer that to winning, you don't just wake up on Sunday morning and say, I got to win. One, the ingredients that people don't see is the preparation that you put in, the attitude that you can control throughout the week, your mentality going into battle, and those things, if you're prepared the right way, I mean, it's going to overflow for great things for you.
One of your goals, you told me, was that I could walk into this Panthers facility and I could stop a teammate, a coach, or a janitor, or an assistant and say, what do you think of Cam Newton? Mm-hmm. What would they have said 3 years ago, and what would the answer be today?
Well, I don't know, but I guarantee it's not what it is today. And I think one thing that I wanted to work on more was being transparent. You know, a lot of great players, a lot of good players are on their high horse, so to speak, to say, you know, hey, I didn't get here just off of nothing. You know, more or less, I want to, you know, we have a saying around here, rankless and tagless. You know, when you look at it with the Army or the Marines, they have ranks and, you know, cadet, you could be a corporal, you could be a general. You know, for me, I want to take all that out, take my captain tag off, take everything off, and I want to ask anyone, hey, what you think about me? Hey, how can I get better? From the ball boy to, you know, Derek Anderson, a guy who has been very influential in my preparation or maturation as a leader. Ken Dorsey, quarterback coach. Mike Shula, who's been a person that has been somewhat of a father figure for me in so many cases, as well as, Coach Rivera. And I asked them, and, you know, they whether I ask them or not, they're going to tell me, hey, that's not right. Hey, get here a little earlier. Hey, Cam, you know, take notes in meetings. Hey, stay up in meetings. Hey, you know, don't just get yourself a bag of chips, get everybody a bag of chips. Hey, Cam, hey, make yourself available. Don't have somebody, you know, just the little things, whether it's right or not, they will always stay on top of me. And I'm like, man, bro, man, why you always up on me? But now I'm seeing it, and I'm like, dawg, you ain't got to tell me. I'm running out there to practice. I'm trying to make sure, I'm trying to beat DA out there to practice, which is, you know, he's been in this league going on 10 years, and you see him do things, subtle things that, you know, you don't got to worry about. He's always here first, on the practice field, just throwing, you know, talking to the guys, just a joyous guy. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at it from afar like, man, this guy gets it. And how can I apply that to myself? So when I look around this league, when I look at Peyton Manning, and it's been some guys that have been affiliated with some great quarterbacks, you know, just the nature of the league. They get cut by a team, we pick them up. And I ask them all the time, hey, how was Drew Brees? Hey, how was Peyton Manning? Hey, how was Tom Brady? Yeah, for real? He led his own meetings? Golly. You know, he did this for the offensive line. He got them that for Christmas? Jesus. You know, and you hear it all the time, and, you know, never mind the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Phillip Rivers, some of the most underrated guys in this league. You know, and I'm like, man, these guys aren't succeeding just because they wake up on Sunday and just say, oh, I want to play football today. It's something that's going unnoticed that's making these guys great.
Is that new to you? Would you have asked those questions last year, 2 years ago? Would you have even thought to say, what does Peyton get his lineman for Christmas? What does he lead his own meetings? Would that have even entered your head?
I think for me, I think I was kind of scarred in a lot of reasons. One is because these guys have been in the league for so long. And tracking my my career and where am I at right now, I've never been in one place for this long. This is my third year. And I'm like, okay, I can call Charlotte home now. And even though I was the number one pick, even though, you know, I was going through, you know, the ins and outs of the league, trying to find myself, it still was things that I was like, I don't know what to expect because I've never been in one place for so long. And I was at Florida for 2 years, transferred, went to junior college for 1 year, transferred there, went to Auburn for a year, left Auburn early as a junior and came to the league. So throughout my years, I haven't been nowhere since high school, and I was immature in high school. I'm not going to count those years. And it's like now I'm really understanding or sinking my teeth into what it really means to lead, not just being a playmaker. because I was a playmaker at Auburn. I was a playmaker in junior college, but it was more importantly than, hey, just give Cam the ball and go block for him, or just let Cam do what he does. It's more than that. You got to lead on the field and off the field.
It's so funny with you because the image and what we think of, if we're talking about you, and we'll show it right now as I'm saying it, Superman. And everything you're saying, Cam, is almost trying to take out Clark Kent for a spin and see how that feels.
Right. It's weird because in a lot of reasons, I have the mentality or want to be recognized as Superman, which is kind of like a alter ego. But in most realization, I have that Batman demeanor. Come game day, you just cut on the lights and boom, Bruce Wayne sees the lights and here comes Batman. No one knows who Batman is. And it's like, for me, for so long, I've kind of felt like that. Like, no one really knows who I am off the field. They just know, come game time, I'm going to be right. I know I'm going to be ready. I could go each and every day and just be excited for Sundays. Going out there, playing in front of BOA, Bank of America Stadium, and seeing those fans screaming, and it's a feeling that you can't even explain. Seeing yourself on ESPN, seeing yourself on Sports Illustrated, people just, appreciating you as a human being, as an athlete. And who would ever thought a person coming from where I'm from, College Park, Georgia, Atlanta, and a pigskin football just taking me so many different places. And yeah, was it, 2 years, 1 year now to bring you up to speed in Charlotte? Did I kind of fast forward a lot of things as far as my maturation as a human being? Yeah. But now it's time for me to really appreciate the whole thing rather than being in the yellow as far as a football player in the bar. And then let's get all the way green and be full up with hey, you ain't got to worry about Cam. Cam's going to be here on time. Hey, coach, let's put Cam as a captain. Not by popular demand, because everyone knows that he's supposed to be the captain. And, it just does my heart warm just to know that feeling, and that I got people that I could call and say, hey, man, you want to hang out? Hey, let's hang out, rather than just me being a loner and just going home just chilling with my dog.
With Apollo.
With Apollo.
It's funny you say that, though, and the superhero image is so perfect because Superman, Batman, whoever it is, you fly solo.
Right.
But when you start talking about Bruce Wayne or Clark Kent, that's all about relationships, and that's all about trusting people and letting them in. And are you the type of guy that lets people in?
Turns from Superman to X-Men or to the Justice League real quick. Everyone has superpowers and everyone has something that they bring to this game. But let's be real frank about this and throw it out there. I can't do this by myself. I know that. I understand that. Yeah, I was the first pick, and people expect a lot from a first-round draft pick. Yeah, I won the Heisman, but I couldn't, going back to that team, I couldn't do it without Lee Zimba. I couldn't do it without Darvin Adams. I couldn't do it without Nick Fairley. I couldn't do it without Ryan Pugh. I couldn't do it without a lot of guys that was on that team. And fast forward to now, I'm on the Carolina Panthers. I can't do it without Steve Smith. I can't do it without Ryan Khalil. I cannot do it without Jordan Gross. I cannot do it without Brandon LaFell. On the defensive side, I can't do it without Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Charles Johnson, the Kraken. Whatever you want, however you want to look at it, I have something that I bring to this table that I also need assistance with trying to make myself better as well as everyone else better as well.
Do you think this growth as a quarterback would happen without this growth as a man? Does one have something to do with the other on the field?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to, lie about it. Yes, it does. And I'm not saying that I was less of a man before this, because I still got a long way to go. I haven't arrived. And like I said, we just played 7 games. We got a long way to go. But I think we're putting ourselves in a position that we can be competitive, we can be relevant. And as a person, I'm putting myself in a position that, I can appreciate my work rather than looking at film and saying, ooh, I made a good play, and man, made a bad play. Ooh, good play. When you look at the great quarterbacks, going back to Dan Marino, Joe Namath, guys before my time, Steve McNair, And you look at Warren Moon, guys like that, those guys have solid games. Not just from the first play or just playing 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. They're playing 4 quarters of football. And if 4 quarters wasn't enough, they're playing overtime as well. And those guys had the trust from their teammates that to let everything down and put all the guards down and say, hey, I'm submitting myself to this leader right here because I trust him and I believe that he's going to take us to the promised land.
Have you seen that moment yet? If it was something a guy said or something a guy did on the field or off, where all of a sudden you were like, and there it is.
I have, but I'm not going to sit up here and say it because I think that's personal. And, you know, here I am, I'm having a heart-to-heart conversation, but in realization, I hate that I'm having it because this shouldn't even happen. You know, as a person, you never want to just be able to say, you know, we're having a conversation about your maturation. You know, it's something that you should automatically get. And, you know, I'm having a conversation. I'm happy that I'm doing it just so I can relieve so much stress from me. But more or less, I'm having conversations with guys that I never would have had. I'm getting to know guys. You know, I'm not just that guy that comes in the locker room with my Dre beats on, jamming music, and just waiting to the last minute to get into meetings. You know, I get it now. It's not just, you know, 1 week I may come 30 minutes early, buy everybody donuts, and then the next week, oh, don't talk to Cam Day. You know, he's mad because we lost. Yeah, I'm disappointed, but more or less, I understand how could I have done something better to make a better impact on that game.
How good does all this feel?
Great. But, you know, like I say, it's still a long way to go, and I can't do it without my teammates.
I saw you immediately. I was the first person to talk to you media-wise after the Tampa game, and it was your first game that you went over the 500 mark in your professional career. And I remember saying to you, I know it's just 30 seconds, so you haven't even had time to marinate on it, but how does it feel to be over 500 for the first time? But I thought you were going to say what most guys would say, which is, it's been 30 seconds, I don't know. You had the biggest smile on your face and exhaled and said,
it's great. But it's still game 7. You know, we can't have no bar mitzvah. You know, we can't celebrate. We can't pop bottles and just be like, hey, we here. No, man, look, let's seize the moment and let's enjoy this. And we know how this feeling means. But let's just so happen to say, what if we keep this going and let's make it to the playoffs? Yeah, now that'll really feel good.
Then you can have a bar mitzvah.
What? Bar mitzvah? Man, sheesh. I might be telling Mr. Richardson to do way more. You know what I mean? But, you know, on a serious night, like, it'll feel great. Like, it's a lot of feelings that haven't been here in a long time. You see it. You sense it. You know, I'll walk home, right? And when I walk home, for a long time, you know, people will look at me and like, oh, that's him right there. And, you know, keep it going.
Walking home from the facility?
Yeah. I'll wake up and I'll walk to the facility.
How far from your house to the facility?
Close to a mile.
Okay, so you're walking by yourself, down the street.
That's that's a moment where I could really say, I'm looking forward to this moment. You know, because when I get into this facility, it's you know, as much focus as you can you know, submit yourself to. And when I walk home or when I'm walking to work, you know, I get people that's going to their 9 to 5 and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Boom, that's Cam. Hey, good luck this weekend. That's what I'm getting now. Hey, man, y'all keep it up. Hey, do this, do that. And, you know, if I was playing on a franchise where that was expected, yeah, you know, I'd be cool and say, yeah, we get that all the time. But I expect this each and every time that from here on out. Now, that's my type of things that I'm expecting for myself. And I'm not going to sit up here and guarantee it because I can't do that. I can guarantee that I'm going to expect a lot from myself. And whether you or anybody else that's looking at this would say that, oh, well, he's not going to do it or he's capable of doing that, they're not going to ever exceed what I'm expecting from myself.
Fast forward to March. Your father and brother, your deflators, call you into a room and they have the computer there and they've loaded up some more videos. What do you hope they're showing you? Man, I'm
really hoping. I mean, everyone's dream, and I might as well just go on and throw it out there. Everyone's dream is to be going to Disneyland. you know, but that's a long way to go. Is it reachable? Absolutely. You know, 32 teams, everyone has the opportunity. But it's the things that goes unnoticed from Monday through Saturday. How are you going to bridge that gap to put some good product mentally, physically in you that's going to propel you or make you exceed or excel on Sunday? And that's what we got to continuously to do. The small things, not the interception by Luke Kuechly, Captain Munderland, you know, an unbelievable return by Ted Ginn. No, the preparation. Are we going to be alert in meetings? You know, are we going to hold ourselves accountable to, you know, making mental notes in meetings? Are we going to practice great? And if we do those small things, listen to coaching and apply coaching to our play, we'll be great.
That's all about the winning, but I know your deflators want more than that.
Yeah.
What else do you hope that you would see? What other video to make it that this year, to make a nice full circle moment?
Just my demeanor, man. You know, and I've had somewhat of a pinching moment where you could catch yourself like, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, take 2 steps back and let's start over. You know, because it's been hard. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and just be like, yeah, man, you know, it's been great. You know, smiling and, you know, when I don't want to smile. But that's what people don't understand and they don't realize. Like, this is an emotional game. And you put so much into it. I said this numerous times and time again. You put so much into this game that come Sunday, when you don't get that, the what you've put in, when you don't get it back, it's like, oh my God, like, I done stayed up so late. I done went through each and every play numerous times. I done went over with Coach. Coach, can you meet one more time? Can you do this? And it's like on Sunday when you throw 3 picks or when you lose by 3 points, it's like, oh my God, what more can I do, God? Like, I'm trying. But you still got to keep going. That little voice in your inside has to keep going. Come on, Cam, you're almost there. And, you know, we had one of our players speak, you know, a couple weeks back, or not, probably last week, and he was saying, you know, it's a little imaginary wolf on each side of your shoulder. Everyone has that, you know. But which one are you going to feed? Are you going to feed that guy right here and say, man, bruh, these folks ain't for you. They don't want you to win. You know, go on and hang it up, bruh. Go on and snap on the reporter that, you know what I'm saying, how you want to do. Or it's this guy right here is like, hey, you trying to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Hey, get your act together. Come on, you can do this. Let's lead these. You be a leader of men. And you hold yourself to a higher standard. And let's get it done.